Hey guys, so this is going to be your last ecosystems lesson. Um, and this is going to be focused on the changes in an ecosystem, things that really can negatively affect an ecosystem and how it functions. I'm going to move myself over so you can see what we're talking about. So, some natural events that can really impact an ecosystem are an earthquake, a tsunami, a drought, a hurricane, and a flood. So, remember when I talked about those abiotic factors that are really important to life? Those abiotic factors can also greatly impact positive and negative effects on an ecosystem. So, for example, a drought, the lack of water, that can be very detrimental in certain areas, okay, like an ocean. So, let's say there's a drought near the ocean and or near a lake that houses a lot of fish, and then that lake starts to dry up. Those fish are going to run out of a home. Those fish are no longer going to have a place to live. So, they're eventually going to die. So, that ecosystem stands a chance of completely dying out, okay? Same thing with floods and earthquakes. Those are all things that really can affect the way an ecosystem functions. But not only do abiotic factors happen, we also have human related factors like pollution. Think about ocean pollution. If you throw trash into the ocean, that is negatively going to affect the ecosystem there, okay? Logging. Logging greatly affects the animals and the plants and the ecosystems that are in the forests and the woods, okay? It affects the deer, the bunny rabbits, the birds. It affects so many animals that you don't even think about. And that's why you see if they log an area, they typically replant trees and won't relog that area until those trees are full grown because it gives the area time for that ecosystem to build back up, okay? Hunting and poaching, and we've talked about that when we did our zoo unit for riding. Poaching, if you overhunt an area and you illegally hunt things, animals, you stand a chance of overkilling that population and making an an animal go extinct. And remember, once it's extinct, it's never going to come back. There's nothing we can do to bring it back to earth, okay? And then construction, if we keep building all of these large cities and all these large towns, we're killing ecosystems in that process. We're flattening out trees. We are laying concrete so the animals that are living, the plants and animals that are depending on that soil, they're not able to get there anymore, right? So all of these things play a huge factor, and those changes in the ecosystem can really affect positively or negatively on an ecosystem. So look at this energy pyramid, and they're talking about the squirrel. So it says create your own energy pyramid that includes a squirrel. Where would the squirrel be placed on the pyramid? So clearly, he's not going to be at the top because the tertiary consumer is the eagle. And remember, nothing is going to eat the eagle. He's not going to be there either. That's the snake. There's the squirrel. Why would the squirrel be the primary consumer? Well, the squirrel is going to eat the acorns, and the acorns are producers. They're coming from the plant, the tree, right? So the squirrel is going to be the primary consumer. The snake is going to eat the squirrel, which is the secondary consumer, and the eagle is the tertiary consumer because he's above all. He leads that food chain. He is at the top of the food chain. All right, and then you've got the soil and the ecosystem. And this is not so much a fourth grade standard, but I did want to cover it just because you learned the vocabulary. So you've got your topsoil, which is your top layer, your subsoil, which is the sand underneath that top layer. Then you've got parent rock, which is rock from which the soil is formed. And then you've got the minerals that are in there. And then you've got the bedrock, which is the bottom layer, the solid rock that's in our earth, because we learned in our space unit that the earth is a rock planet. So, all right, guys. Well, if you have any questions, don't forget to contact me.